Hello, welcome to this update for Asia. Let's start this update with a question for you. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? If you are, there is one, two, and three tropical cyclones on the same map. And today we'll talk about all of this. So, first, there's the most important one that's affecting land. There's Typhoon Matmo, if I'm right, across southern China and Hainan. It might affect Vietnam as well. So this typhoon affected the Philippines as well as a tropical storm, and now it's going across southernmost China. So this storm is one of many that hit the same area across across over the last month. So please be careful because the ground is extremely saturated from many tropical storms, one after the other this last month. So please be careful with flooding there and damaging winds going on right now. And here's the European model, shows some gusts over 154 km per gust. So there's some moderate storm surge as well and some very heavy rain. So please stay safe in those areas. This goes and like it will start weakening once it's more overland in southern China and Vietnam, and then it will still probably cause some heavy rain, possible flooding across northern Vietnam and China throughout Monday, tomorrow into Tuesday, more spots of Southeast Asia. So please stay safe in those areas, warn others. Does show as this goes, it might cost more than 200 millimeters right between China and Vietnam, especially southernmost China and spots northern Vietnam, 100 to 200 millimeters, even showing 287 some spots. The GFS a little bit less, and there's the icon too, a little bit less, but close to the European. So please stay safe from this storm. Be careful in those areas. The second tropical cyclone on the map is this one, the Arabian Sea. And this is like a very interesting one because everything else around it is dry. The whole sea is like just a few clouds, and the Middle East is completely dry. But this cyclone is thriving right in the middle, so it's kind of cool. And it was like a category one last few days or even stronger. And now it's passing near Oman with a storm or two near the coast in Oman and some swells, large waves, and then it will curve back south towards the equator and then will dissipate. So no big threat with this, just be careful that the swells in Oman and a few storms from this. So be careful, but nothing too crazy. And the third tropical cyclone on the map is this one, this newly formed tropical storm there in the Western Pacific. And this is a kind of a threat to land as well, especially to Japan. So we'll take a look at this closely. What might happen, but just to give you an idea, this terrain accumulation, the European model, you can clearly see the track of this approach in Japan and later curving back east. But it might approach spots near Hinshu and Osaka, north areas, Tokushima, more than 100, close to 200 millimeters possibly, if this takes this track. The GFS is further east, a good sign for Japan, but not good for those islands there, more than 200 millimeters. The icon is further west, a little bit worse for Kagoshima and spots near southeast, southwestern Japan, southeastern Japan actually. So we'll keep tracking this, but most likely it will pass like the core of the storm just east of Japan, but it might cause some flooding and strong winds in a few areas. So please be careful. Another notable things happening is this very big blob of thunderstorms across northeastern India and through spots of Bangladesh and Bhutan. There's like a lot of rain in this area and storms, possibly causing some more flooding as well and some heavy rain. So the accumulation map is not showing that much, but it does show a lot, like close to 100 meters or more in some areas. Bangladesh is close to some 80 to 90 meters. So and it might be locally more in a few areas, so be aware. Spots northern India into Pakistan as well, and spots in China because of those fronts, like 146 millimeters, 138, and even more. So be careful in those areas. Let's see, like just snow to compare because of the mountains. So that show the high elevations there in Nepal and those areas, this rain will turn to snow. Northern Bhutan, in a few areas there. The GFS similar, but a little bit less. So be careful. And most of western China and spots central China in the Tibetan Plateau, especially like spots of northern Pakistan, the western Himalayas should have some heavy snow, and into the Hindu Kush, more spots, the Tian Shan Mountains. So be careful. And shows like across Russia, still plenty of snow. You can see this whole area, northern Asia, like a lot of snow spots, Siberia into Far Eastern Russia, most of Eastern Russia, and the Kamchatka Peninsula, close to 119 centimeters. More spots like Eastern Russia, Central Russia. The West is quiet, except for a few spots in the Caucasus and Turkey there, to like some 13 centimeters, few more spots in the Caucasus, and into even Central Southern Turkey, a few spots. So be aware, those areas that the GFS is similar, especially this belt across central Russia, where those low pressure systems with snow are located. So be careful in those areas and stay safe. Shows like let's see the forecast for the typhoon first, and then later some more stuff. So there's tropical storm Halong. This one to approach Japan shows like it might make a run for typhoon strength later this week, and the official track is east of Japan. So it's not going to make landfall, but you'll pass very close. But if this shifts just slightly further west, it might make landfall. So it's a very close call, but most likely staying to the east of Japan. So please be careful, just monitor this for like some heavy rain near the coast, some damaging winds, and also some large waves and swells, rip currents near the coast because of the storm. So be careful. The models are showing slightly east of Japan. Just there's just one like Dunavjan is closer to the islands, but there's the ensembles. Most of the GFS are going to the west a little bit towards Japan, then curves to the east again. But there's some rogue members going towards Taiwan, but those ones are kind of some outliers. There's these other ensembles, the GFS shows like mainly staying east of Japan, but some members are fairly close. And there's one or two rogue members going towards China, but like very little. And the GFS members are slightly stronger in strength as well, passing east of Japan. The Canadian that I showed you before is slightly weaker. So be aware those areas. And like here shows the Western Pacific. This goes passes close to Japan, but those islands just east of Tokyo, like the Izu Islands and more areas, should pay close attention to this because it will pass very close or right over you in those islands. So be careful. This goes later, not showing much else, but still watching. There's the European, there's Typhoon Matamo, they're in southern China now, and then this latest one of the Europeans actually coming very close to southern Japan and Tokushima and Osaka, those areas. So please, please watch this. And it passes like it scrapes the coast, nearly touching the coast, goes away. So this run of the European slightly more concerning, but we'll keep watching. There's the Neptune that goes straight into those islands in southern Japan and potentially further into Japan. There's the Canadian model shows like this goes, it lingers a little bit and moves mostly east of Japan. So there's the icon just to show another scenario, shows this goes, but this run is not working here. This goes, and the icon is dangerously close to the coast as well, nearly scraping the coast. So please be careful in those areas. Just watch this during the coming days. We'll try to make another video for this, especially if this goes into Japan. But if it just remains east of Japan, like further east, you'll be fine. But if this gets very close, like the European is suggesting, we might make another video later this week. So please be careful, especially like monitor for the local weather updates in the area and warn others, especially along the southeastern coast of Japan. Please be careful and warn others. So stay safe, but especially like damaging winds and everything. So shows like if you are in Ogasawara, be careful too because it's fairly close to you now, but it won't pass like right over you. Might pass slightly south, but this is what the European model is suggesting. Like passes very close to the coast with some damage winds along the coast. So if this happens, you should pay close attention, especially for like these small islands off the east coast of Japan might be in trouble. So please monitor this and warn others, and even like start making some preparations, especially in these islands, because there's a higher confidence you'll pass right over this island. So please be prepared and warn others too. There's that thing that's tropical, but there's this other thing that's not tropical, but it has some very strong winds across eastern Russia, those big low pressure systems in the North Pacific. So please be careful in those areas, like some very damaging winds along the east coast of Russia. Until next week, so like it's already Friday, October 10th, in 5 days, and continues into next week. And today's October 5th, but then these strong winds might persist throughout the week. So be careful in those areas and shows like some occasionally strong winds with the tropical storm near Oman and in the Himalayas occasionally and spots in the Middle East. Not too much in the Middle East, but like today, October 5th, shows some strong winds in Afghanistan in a few areas. So be aware. And later next week, the stuff from Europe in the Black Sea might get active. So be aware. And shows here, like in Russia, those very cold temperatures already coming, especially central Russia. There are spots like in Siberia, into eastern Russia, in the -20s degrees Celsius already. And there's this corner here, right between China and Mongolia, and Kazakhstan and Russia, are to -25 degrees Celsius in those mountains. So very cold already into Central Asia. So please stay safe in spots in the mountains below as well. And then this goes still quite hot in China, so there's still a late season heat wave in spots central China. So be careful, and then like in the Middle East, it's still hot, like even to close to 40 degrees Celsius in a few spots. So still be careful in the Middle East, not as hot as before, but still hot. And then Tuesday, Wednesday. Shows like this cold continues and goes further south there into China, northern China, into Kazakhstan, are negative temperatures, most of Russia except West Russia. The West is fine for now, so be aware, but all of eastern and central Russia is already dominated by some extreme cold. So stay safe in those areas and be careful too and warn others. In terms of rain, shows like those heavy rains in the tropics are getting heavier western, no, eastern Indonesia and spots in the Philippines. Those showers and storms, spots most of Southeast Asia, still some tropical showers and storms and spots there across the Black Sea and Turkey more rain into next week in Western Russia because of those fronts. So be aware. And like northern India and Pakistan, there's the risk of flash flooding across northern India and Pakistan because of those strong late monsoon storms still happening and some rain across the eastern Mediterranean in a few spots. So stay safe, be careful in those areas.